Hello students, this is Kanupriya, PGT Geography, and here I am once again with my next video on the very next chapter, which is chapter 7 of book 2, India, People and Economy, which is chapter 7, Minerals and Energy Resources. This chapter will deal with the introduction of minerals, characteristics of minerals, then distribution of minerals in India, classification of minerals and various types of minerals will be discussed. And after that we will discuss about the various resources of energy or various sources of energy, that is conventional sources of energy and non-conventional sources of energy. So let's start with this chapter. Our first topic is minerals. What is a mineral? A mineral is a naturally occurring substance of organic or inorganic origin with definite physical and chemical properties. So basically, mineral is not artificially made. Minerals cannot be produced by human beings. It is a natural substance. It is provided by nature to us. It can be organic, it can be inorganic, which means that it can have organic origin or inorganic origin. We have number of minerals which have organic origin like coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. Organic origin is related to the origin from the dead remains of plants and animals or from the living world, and inorganic means non-living. So minerals can have organic origin and can have inorganic origin. Each mineral have definite physical and chemical properties. Each mineral will show definite physical as well as chemical composition. So this is the definition of minerals. Next topic is classification of minerals. On the basis of physical and chemical properties, minerals have been classified into two main categories, which includes metallic minerals and non-metallic minerals. Metallic minerals are those minerals which contain metal in them, and they are further subdivided into three types. That is precious metals, which includes gold, silver, platinum, etc. Second one is ferrous metals. Ferrous metallic minerals are those metallic minerals which includes iron in them. Like iron and other metals, often mixed with iron to form various kinds of steel. We have number of examples related to ferrous metallic minerals like iron ore, manganese, etc. Third one is non-ferrous metallic minerals which do not contain iron in them. For example, copper, lead, zinc, tin, aluminium, etc. So these are all about metallic minerals and its further classification. Second one is non-metallic minerals. Non-metallic minerals are those minerals which do not contain metal in them. We have sulfur, phosphates, nitrates, which are the examples of non-metallic minerals. Under non-metallic minerals, we have fuel minerals and other minerals. In fuel minerals, we have coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. And in other minerals, we have lead, mica, etc. Cement is also a mixture of non-metallic minerals. So minerals have been classified into two types, that is metallic minerals and non-metallic minerals. Now comes the characteristics of minerals. Minerals have certain characteristics which are that minerals are unevenly distributed over space. We know there are certain places where there is abundance of minerals, and there are some places like northern plains which are devoid of minerals, from where we can conclude that minerals are unevenly distributed over space. Second one is there is an inverse relationship between quality and quantity of minerals. That is, good quality minerals are less in quantity as compared to low quality minerals. This means that if the quality will be high, quantity will be less, and if quantity will be high, quality will be less. So, there is an inverse relationship between quality and quantity of minerals. The third main characteristic of minerals is that all minerals are exhaustible over time. These minerals take long to develop geologically and they cannot be replenished immediately at the time of need. Thus, they have to be conserved and not misused as they do not have the second crop. So, basically, all the minerals which are present on the earth's surface are exhaustible. Once they are exhausted, they cannot be replenished, they cannot be recycled at the time of need because it takes millions of years for its formation. So, these are the basic characteristics of minerals. The next topic is distribution of minerals in India. Minerals are generally concentrated in three broad belts in India. These belts are Northeastern Plateau region, Southwestern Plateau region and Northwestern region. So, let's discuss them one by one. First one is the Northeastern Plateau region. This belt covers Chota Nagpur Plateau, which includes Jharkhand, Odisha Plateau, West Bengal and parts of Chhattisgarh. Have you ever thought about the reason of major iron and steel industry being located in this particular region? It is because of the fact that it has variety of minerals, that is iron ore, coal, manganese, bauxite, mica, etc. That's why this region has developed number of iron and steel industries. It is because of the fact that the raw materials which are required for the development of iron and steel industry are located in this particular region. That's why this region has major iron and steel industries. Second one is Southwestern Plateau region. This belt extends over Karnataka, Goa, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. This belt is rich in ferrous metals and bauxite. It also contains high-grade iron ore, manganese and limestone. This belt packs in coal deposits except Neyveli lignite. This belt does not have as diversified mineral deposits as the northeastern belt. Kerala has deposits of monazite and thorium, bauxite clay. Coal has rich iron ore deposits. So, basically the Southwestern Plateau region includes states like Karnataka, Goa, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Tamil Nadu is rich in coal. Karnataka is rich in high-grade iron ore, manganese and limestone. Kerala has deposits of monazite and thorium and Goa has iron ore deposits. If we have to compare Northeastern Plateau region and Southwestern Plateau region, then we can see that Northeastern Plateau region has abundance of minerals as compared to Southwestern Plateau region. But both these places have rich mineral deposits in it. Now comes the third one, which is the Northwestern region. The Northwestern region belt extends over Aravalli in Rajasthan. Aravalli is basically a mountain range which is present in Rajasthan and part of Gujarat, and minerals are associated with Dharwar system of rocks. We have copper, zinc. These have been major minerals which are found in this particular region or belt. Rajasthan is rich in building stones like sandstone, granite, marble, etc. Gypsum and fuller's earth deposits are also extensive in this particular belt. We have dolomite, limestone, which provide raw materials for the cement industry. Moreover, Gujarat is also known for its petroleum deposits. We have Ankleshwar, we have Kalol in Gujarat, which are famous for the petroleum deposits. Gujarat and Rajasthan also have rich sources of salt. So basically, northwestern region includes Rajasthan and Gujarat, and in Rajasthan and Gujarat we have copper, zinc, gypsum, marble, sandstone, granite, dolomite, limestone, petroleum deposits. So these are the basic three belts which are present in India and where minerals are found abundantly. Other than these three belts, we have the Himalayan belt, which is another mineral belt where copper, lead, zinc, cobalt and tungsten are known to occur. They occur on both the eastern and western parts. Assam Valley has mineral oil deposits in which we have Digboi, Ankleshwar, Makum, etc. Besides, oil resources are also found in offshore areas near Mumbai coast, that is Mumbai High. Mumbai High is famous for the petroleum deposits. So this is all about the distribution of minerals in India, in which we have three main belts, which are northeastern plateau region, southwestern plateau region and northwestern region. Other than that, we have Himalayan belt, in which we have number of mineral deposits which are present, and we have Assam Valley, in which rich petroleum deposits are found. So this is all for today. If you have any doubt related to this topic, please come up with your doubts. Thank you so much for your patient listening.